I used to genuinely value the dopamine that I was getting in life more than the love of my own parents. And I know that sounds crazy, because it's crazy to me now, like it's even laughable, but growing up, that was not the case. I genuinely found such enjoyment and pleasure in this feeling that I didn't even know was dopamine at the time. Getting in trouble, you know what I mean? Always like we're in trouble with police, or whether it's teachers in school. The stress that I was causing my parents at the time, I was never thinking of them, I was just thinking of myself. And for them, I know how hard that is, because I was constantly putting them through stress. Like I think their son, who at the time was 16, 17, constantly getting brought home by police, letters coming to the door, and I can see that now, like that's not a nice position for a parent to be in, but at the time I was just chasing this feeling, chasing this dopamine. I didn't know it was dopamine at the time, and now obviously I can be aware to that. And obviously as the course of my life over the past 6 months has redirected from that path that I was on. If you'd met me 6 months ago, I was still very much living that type of lifestyle, but now it's driven to obviously having a definite desire to actually, I value my parents for everything they've done for my life, which is nice to say. And now I'm driven to actually, okay, who can I become for myself, for myself, and obviously for my parents, and that is what is compelling me forward. And as a result, there's now a massive dopamine spike on that pulling mechanism. So instead of me being drawn to the stimulation of getting in trouble, living this character, I've now switched that, do you know what I mean, to actually becoming the best version of myself. And you can do the same as well. It came from me initially just taking action, and a lot of people procrastinate. It's normal, I used to procrastinate. Specifically within ADHD, you will procrastinate, because when it comes to decision making, there's a part of your brain that is scared to obviously commit to one. Let's say there's two options. It's scared to commit to one option because the potential of losing dopamine, what if I do this and that is wrong, or what if I do this and that is wrong, leads to procrastination, especially within ADHD and your spiral, and you'll get yourself stuck more. And the more you do procrastinate that as well, you're building that belief in yourself that, okay, I am someone who is a bit indecisive, do you know what I mean, takes longer to actually commit to something, does procrastinate. And the more you're putting these situations in yourself, the more that belief is being embedded into your subconscious. That is becoming part of your identity. And your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that obviously controls your decision making, it's the front mechanism. I assume it's literally at the front, I'm pointing to the forehead, but it's the prefrontal cortex which is in charge of everything. That runs on like the current and past behaviours of yourself. So obviously if you have these doubts telling yourself, oh, I'm indecisive, I'm always getting in trouble, like that was me. So I'd always default back to that, and obviously by me reprogramming that, which you can, it's through an actual emotional attachment as well, and then obviously refocusing that. Like there was such an emotional attachment behind, because I woke up and I was like, yeah, I've seen some results from me actually putting in a bit of action now my view completely changed, and as a result my prefrontal cortex started to redevelop. I became a much more decisive person. I became much more in a flow state, actually taking self-care for myself as well. And now I've built myself in a complete manner. Obviously I'm still leveling up, I'm still learning every day. There's always new things to discover, and that is the beauty of life as well. And with ADHD now I completely understand it and I get it, and I've built a dopamine regulation system that works best and is most durable for me as a person. You can do the same. It just comes down to taking time to actually find yourself. So obviously I was lost for so long, but over the last 6 months I've taken action. I've become less procrastinative of a person, and now I've obviously redeveloped a new character for myself. And now I'm here today and I love life. I love being present, and it's the best feeling. You really have to appreciate being present. Even when I was in these dark, not even dark times, but times of getting in trouble, causing my parents stress, I'd still enjoy life, because that is how life is to be enjoyed. Thunder. Well, it's about to start raining. I'll have to wrap this up quickly. But yeah, if people knew me growing up, I was always someone who's smiling a lot. I've always looked happy, even times when I'm not actually happy, but I've always looked it. But that's because I have such self-awareness to the appreciative of life, and that is how you need to operate, because the more meaning you have behind the actual experience of life, the more self-love you're going to hold within yourself. Do you know what I mean? And as a result, the self-love, as we discussed, that is going to reflect on the behaviours that you are then doing for yourself, and obviously that's going to slowly create a new path that you can go down for yourself. And I know it's hard. I mean, you might be watching this in the position that I was before, and it might feel like, fuck, like there's so much to do, but you just got to start with one thing. It can be small, it can be literally anything, but just commit to it, because the longer you do procrastinate, it's never going to help you. You want to live with, okay, I did this, maybe it didn't go well. Not if the regrets, oh, what if? I've spoken to lots of older people in my life. I wish I went traveling. I wish I'd done this. You never want to live like that. So take action for yourself. Build your evidence-based self-story that you are someone who does what they say. And live life to the fullest.